Well, good afternoon, good morning, welcome everyone. I'm excited that you're here. So, welcome to our second official update today. My name is Megan Pollock, and I am the current chair of the Commission on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And so today, our agenda, we're going to do a quick welcome, give you an opportunity to celebrate anything that's exciting that's happened for you lately. We'll do a few announcements and updates, and for any of our committee or team leaders who are here, you have the opportunity to give a shout out to the whole group at that time. And then we've got our guest speaker today, and then we will give Vaishaki the mic, and she'll do her presentation on the Spotlight team. And then we will end with a call to action. And so let's celebrate a little bit of good news. This is a great opportunity for us to build some community while we can. So it can be personal, professional, DEI related or not, it doesn't matter. Just share some good news with us. You can either use the Slido poll that I've got here on the screen, or you can unmute and share something that's exciting that's happened in your life. I know somebody's got some good news. I'm celebrating cooler weather here in Texas. It has been brutal the last few months, and so it's making going outside a little bit more fun and bearable. Anybody else? What's some good news that you want to share? We've got somebody typing. Come on, don't be shy. It's okay to unmute, celebrate. Aw, congratulations. Someone celebrated their 10-year wedding anniversary. Congratulations. Another person typing. I want to hear some more good news. It could be big news or little news. It doesn't have to be big. We got a celebration that somebody's saying it's Monday. Any other good news? Oh, it's your birthday week. I love it. I also enjoy a celebration of a week of birthdays, so kudos to whoever that is. Well, I hope that you will celebrate whatever it is, and you're welcome to share those things in the chat after I advance the slide here or not. I'm going to wait for this last person to finish typing. Oh, we got a couple people. A successful first partner meeting with engineering grad students in Indigenous Nation for your new Indigenous engineering program. That's fantastic. Tell us what institution that's at. Love to hear more about that. That's always great to share.
That is at Cal Poly Humboldt here in Northern California, so formerly known as Humboldt State University.
Nice. Thanks so much. Oh, somebody had a great first class period today, and somebody else enjoyed a great weekend with friends cycling and swimming. That's awesome. I love it. Well, thank you all for participating in this little bit of celebration. I really appreciate it. Okay, so as a reminder, as some of our committee members, if they have any announcements, are kind of getting their thoughts together, our goal this year and sort of the overarching theme is to improve the way that we operate as a commission. So we want to improve our transparency, our communication and collaboration while still fulfilling and doing all of this work in service of the 2022 strategic plan that we completed together and that was passed by the board. And so hopefully we are going to be delivering on these commitments over the course of the next few months together. And I encourage you to hold me accountable to that. You're always welcome to drop time on my calendar, send me emails, or provide feedback in any number of ways that we provide an opportunity for you to share with us. So we hope that you'll do that. I want to give an open floor here. Do we have any committee members or team members or just anybody across ASEE with some kind of announcement that you'd like to share with the DEI community within ASEE? Any announcements?
I don't know, Texas A&M's working really hard to battle and make sure that we're doing the right thing and make sure that our students don't get affected by what's going crazy with the new laws in Texas. So we're working really, really, really hard. And I have a
Yeah.
meeting tonight with the Faculty Senate where I'm going to try to remind all of the faculty, because I'm speaker there. So I'm trying to engage them. So, but I think we're doing pretty well. Considering, I think we're doing pretty well.
That's great. Thanks, Tracy. And also, you might want to tell people about the Frontiers in Engineering
Oh, well,
conference,
yes,
maybe to
yes.
register.
Yes, please register for the Frontiers in Engineering Conference. It's in October, middle of October, and it's going to be at Texas A&M, and there's a huge focus on DEI all over the place in that, and we've been, really, at least at Texas A&M, we've been encouraging people to really focus their research on how do we do inclusivity at scale. And so there should be a lot on that there. But just in general, the papers just have some really great topics. And I encourage you to come, and there's going to be day passes as well. But yeah, please come. It'll be fantastic. And there's going to be lots of fun social events as well.
Thanks, Tracy. Bree, any new updates from the Professional Development Committee regarding our call for proposals?
No, there's no new information. We plan to launch our call for proposal on October 1st, and we hope for everybody to submit their proposals by November 1st, so that we're able to submit our session request by December 15th as defined by ASEE.
Yeah, awesome. Well, so even though it may not open until October 1st, we encourage everybody to start thinking about what they want to submit, and we welcome your participation. Any other updates or announcements?
I guess it's important to remember that ASEE deadlines are not going to be budgetable this year. So they keep repeating that they're not going to shift like they have every other year.
That is what they are saying indeed.
And I don't know if that's true or not, but we have to assume that it's true.
We will see. Okay, so thanks so much for that, everybody. I want to introduce Vaishakhi Bose today. She is the second year leading the Spotlight team, the Spotlight committee, and last year was the first year for the committee, and so we're really excited for her leadership. Over the past year, she's partnered with the communications team and others to create lots of different spotlights on individuals, and so she's going to tell you more about that. She is a civil and mechanical engineer and a postdoc scholar at the Berkeley Lab. So I'm going to stop sharing and give you the floor. And Vaishakhi, we're excited to have you be our first guest on the update series. And the floor is yours.
Thanks, Megan, and thank you so much for the introduction. Can you all see my screen? Okay, great. Yeah, so a little bit about the Spotlight team, as Megan mentioned, that it is a fairly newer team compared to some of the other teams that we have at CDEI. It just started last year. And initially with this strategic planning, the initial goal of Spotlight team, that was the whole idea of developing this team, was to exercise influence to promote DEI in ASEE publications, and also partner with the different other committees within the CDEI and within ASEE to spotlight scholars and success stories on our website. So our team is fairly small right now. It is essentially just me. I'm a postdoc, as Megan mentioned. I'm a postdoc at Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. And we also have Marsha from University of Houston. She's a faculty over there. And then we have Denise, who is a grad student at University of Florida. So we are a small but still mighty team. And we would love for you to join if you're interested in volunteering for our team. And I will talk a little bit more about that towards the end. Okay, so since my joining the team, two of the things that we have done is, one thing is, of course, continuing the work that has been done by Tertia, the communications team, so well, which is essentially highlighting scholars who have done great DEI work at their institution, essentially reaching out to them, asking them a few different questions, and then highlighting their work on our website. But also, I have been continuing that work along with my team. But also one of the things that we have done since I joined the team is also open a LinkedIn page. I believe before I joined the CDEI committee, we did have a Twitter page where there was consistently information and content posted regularly through the communications team, and they have done a great job of it. But when I joined the team, I was brainstorming with Megan, and we talked about also having a LinkedIn page, because a lot of the folks are really active on LinkedIn and they are not that active elsewhere. So we wanted to also reach out to this separate group of people who are very active on LinkedIn. And so we created a LinkedIn page, and I generally try to maintain that page. So if you have any information you would want to share, please feel free to do so. If you have not already joined the LinkedIn page, so please feel free to follow that page also, because we regularly post content, and that's one of the ways that the Spotlight team has been contributing regularly to essentially the DEI initiatives within CDEI. Okay, some of the things that we do, to give you a broad overview, I was talking about a Scholar Spotlight. So what happens within a Scholar Spotlight is essentially we first select a scholar who is definitely like someone we know within our network, or someone suggested them to us, however it works, and we reach out to that person if they would be interested in being highlighted. And what being highlighted essentially means is them answering about a few different questions. As you can see on the slide, we have a little bit about their story of belongingness, why DEI is important to them, what are their current DEI initiatives, and what resources they recommend to people who are new to the field, etc. A few questions, we send that to them. And I believe prior to me joining the team, or prior to the Spotlight team being created, essentially what was done is that was being sent to the scholar to be highlighted, and then they would compile the responses in text format and then send it back to the communications team, and they had their own entire different structure in place, so that they could essentially proofread, edit, whatever necessary, and then make it go on the website. And that's how it would work. When I joined the team, one of the things that the awards committee really wanted was to highlight Dr. Prasad Venugopal, who was essentially a previous year's DEI award winner. So we really wanted to highlight him because of his work, and also the fact that we also wanted to highlight the award. We wanted to make sure that that award is focused, and so that moving forward in the future years, people know about the award and also apply for that award. So, and he is a super busy person. So when I was reaching out to him after meeting with the CDEI past, present, and future chairs, we brainstormed a bit, and we talked about the fact that it might be easier if we provide him with a few different options and not just say that here is a bunch of questions and just answer it, and can you send it back to us? So what I did was provide him with an option of what, if he wants, he can record himself answering these questions and send it to us, or he could meet with me at a time convenient to him, and then we would discuss the questions. So he ended up actually choosing to meet with me. And we set up a Zoom meeting, we recorded the meeting, and then I asked him each of the questions, and he answered all these different questions. And after all of those things were done, I went back to the recording, me and my team, and we compiled the responses. An issue with that entire method that I just mentioned was the fact that when we were compiling the responses with Dr. Venugopal, we figured that when you were talking, sometimes you would say a lot of things that you wouldn't eventually want to be compiled into a website kind of post. So that ended up happening. And then in the months that followed, we had several meetings with Dr. Venugopal, or I did, and several emails exchanged to eventually come down to a format that he was happy with, and we also felt that meets the criteria and guidelines of our website or the previous spotlights that we had posted. So it was a lot of like back and forth. And so, but still we learned a valuable lesson that, you know, it was great to provide a scholar with that option of them meeting with us. But as a team, we figured out in future what we would want to do is that if a scholar wants to do that, then we would let them know ahead of time that this is being recorded. And what we are going to do is that we're going to upload this recording as of kind of like a podcast instead of transcribing into essentially an entire post. But at the same time, and this is again through several meetings that we had, different iterations we had internally within the Spotlight team, we also realized that not all people really like podcasts. There is, of course, the podcast is kind of like nowadays is kind of that you either love it or hate it kind of thing. So there are a ton of people who love podcasts and they love listening to it, but that there are also people who completely ignore it. So what we plan on doing in future when we reach out to scholars is essentially, of course, giving them that option that if they want, they could meet with us and we would record them answering all these few different questions that we asked. And we would upload that recording in a podcast type format, but also we would essentially pick out a few different maybe like sentences or highlights that they had talked about throughout their entire discussion, and then kind of create a website post that would also be included. So it would be a podcast, but it would also have a little bit of a highlight that people who wouldn't want to listen to the podcast, but still get the gist of the message of that scholar from that particular post. So that's what we are hoping to do. I would love to hear your opinion on it. And then again, the other option that we started providing to the scholars when I joined the team is, of course, asking them that you can also record your answers and send it to us. And as I mentioned, Dr. Shernita Lee, who was highlighted last year, who is an assistant dean and director of Virginia Tech graduate school, she actually chose to record herself and send it to us because she's mentioned that when she types up responses, it is not as eloquent and she tends to forget certain things, and she would rather record herself because it seems like you are in a classroom, you're talking to yourself, and as a teacher, you feel more comfortable. So she felt more comfortable actually not meeting, but still like recording and sending it to us. And that worked out fine because she sent us the transcription and then we compiled her responses based off of that. So yeah, so we do provide a bunch of different options to make it as easy on the scholar's end as possible. But also we all of us are, of course, volunteers, and there is just 3 of us right now in our team, and we try to rotate who is handling a particular scholar. So we also try to make sure we try to minimize the work at our end, but at the same time, we also want to provide as much flexibility as possible to each of the scholars. And then, here, I'm not sure if there are many delegates currently in the meeting right now, but I do know Megan is recording the meeting. So we were talking a little bit about this. Megan mentioned that it would be nice to have some delegate-specific guidance. So what we would love for you to do if you are a delegate is that you sponsoring a spotlight from your division or from your group. So essentially it would work essentially the same way that I just mentioned. You would select a scholar to be spotlighted from your group or division. Let us know who that person is so that if you want help, we can reach out to them, or you can reach out to them and then keep us in the loop. And then I can send you the questions that essentially I just showed in the last slide that would you would need the responses to those few questions, and essentially send the compiled posts to me so that we can upload them in the website. What we do in addition to uploading that particular spotlight post on the website, we also create a LinkedIn and Twitter post to create as much traffic as possible to our website when that particular post is given. And then we also have another recurring post. So what we did, for example, with Dr. Shernita Lee is that when we posted her scholar spotlight, we followed up with another LinkedIn post during the African American Heritage Month, the Black History Month. We followed up with another post and kind of like, if, in case you missed it, here is our scholar spotlight on this particular scholar. So we try and do that. The other delegate specific guidance that I would love to highlight is that something that I have started doing, but have not been successful at doing that every single month. But we did have a great amount of content on both LinkedIn and Twitter. And that was an initiative between my team and communications team during the Women's History Month and then the Black History Month. We would love to do that for all the heritage months. And so if you are a delegate and you want to highlight a scholar or a specific initiative at your institution during a specific heritage month, please make sure to contact me, and I would love to highlight that work. On our website, depending on the content on our website, on LinkedIn, Twitter, whichever works for you, and of course, us. And finally, engaging with the Spotlight team. If you're interested, as I mentioned, there is only just a couple of us. So if you're interested in joining our team, that would be so great. Please feel free to email me. And then, of course, if you want to be highlighted, or you want or know someone at your institution or even at any other institution that you know is doing such great DEI work, that would be great to be highlighted, please make sure to send me an email, and I can definitely reach out to them and then keep you in the loop and highlight their work on our website. And of course, I work a lot with pretty much all of the teams at CDEI, including Bree's team, Tertia's team, and then of course the awards team and the conference planning team, definitely, especially during the months leading up to the conference, in highlighting pretty much everything that they send in for the LinkedIn page to be highlighted. So if you are part of a CDEI team and you want anything to be highlighted on the LinkedIn or Twitter page, please feel free to email me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I would love, if you have any questions or suggestions, I would love to hear them.
Got a couple of comments in the chat. So Tertia added that she loves the idea. She was curious if you're thinking about including the transcript with the podcast on the CDEI website.
Yeah, definitely. We did talk about that internally within our Spotlight team. Definitely, we would think about adding in the transcript, but for that we would definitely need some help, because as I mentioned, that for a couple of posts, both Dr. Sharnita Lee's and Dr. Prashad Venugopal's, we had a ton of transcript that we had to deal with, and some of them were not exactly like, correct, of course, as you all might know, and we had to manually edit them because they needed to be eventually transcribed into a website post. Maybe we don't have to do that level of editing when we are just using a podcast link on the website, but still there would be some amount of editing to be done. And we definitely do plan on doing that, uploading a podcast along with this transcript, but also at the same time doing a higher level highlight to for those people who might not listen to the podcast, I guess.
Yeah, and I definitely think the voice to text software and algorithm is like getting better every day, and so hopefully that will kind of improve as well. But as Vaishakhi mentioned, like our goal is we want to highlight people, but you all know we're volunteers too, and so we want to make this as friendly and as efficient as a process as possible for us, so that we have more people who want to volunteer. I also would love to work with you, Vaishakhi, and let's get your Spotlight guidance posted on the website. And so that will help us specifically when we're reaching out to delegates. And so this is a new sort of challenge for our delegates. So we have every year, we have delegates, some returning from either divisions or regions or, sections or zones or other groups. And they want to know, what can I do to be a great delegate? And so we'd love to make sure, in order again, in service of our goal of collaborating across the organization, to have your help. So our goal is to have each delegate sponsor or sort of lead the charge of getting the content created. And so you'll be hearing more about that idea from Vaishakhi and myself. And so again, we encourage you to reach out, and we fully support self-nominations as well. And so feel free to let us know how we can support you and elevate you in your work. All right. Any other questions about the Spotlight Committee? And so, Vaishakhi spent a lot of time talking about specifically highlighting scholars, but as she mentioned, one of the other goals for the committee back on your earlier slide is to elevate DEI within ASEE publications. And so if you have any interest in getting involved with that, we encourage you to join the team. And so if you'll pop back through the chat, I've put a few links in the chat where you can sign up to volunteer. I put a link in the chat to how you can follow us on LinkedIn, how you can share information with us, and how you'd like that shared. And then I also put Vaishakhi's email in the chat as well. So we've got just a couple of minutes left. And so I want to give you a chance to think about what are your action items. And so if you will, I'm pulling up a Slido poll here. It's the same QR code as earlier if you were still with us. And so I want you to think about what's your action item. Maybe your action item is to nominate somebody. Maybe it's to just help dive in with the committee. If you've got a colleague or friend who you think you can knock out a fast interview with them to feature them, that would be really, really helpful in elevating colleagues. And so another action item could be that you want to look at the ways to get involved and figure out which committees that you want to get in. But before you go, please take a minute to think about your call to action and how you're going to get involved with us. Maybe your call to action is to start thinking about a workshop proposal that you'll be able to submit to the commission, to Bree's Professional Development Committee. We got a few people typing. All right, so somebody's recommended Karen Watson.
That was me.
Oh, thanks, Tracy. Another action item is to share this with the division and start working with the team. Fantastic. All right, we've got a few more people typing action items and closing out us for the day. And so this particular update is live recorded to YouTube. So again, in honor of efficiency, it's dropped in there. And so we won't have to take time and edit it. But I do have the recording from the event 2 weeks ago. It's on YouTube if you missed it and you want to go back and watch it. And so I've got another action item here. Talk with the communication team about how to best get the podcast and instructions on the website. Excellent. I love it. So as we're wrapping up here in the final seconds, any last updates or thoughts from people?
I think this was great.
Excellent. I'm so glad. Yes, find other ways to share with the visions rather than preach to the choir. And we welcome your feedback on how to help you do that. And so please reach out and let us know how we can support you. So if somebody signed up to volunteer, when can you expect to hear back? If you haven't heard from somebody, reach out to me and I will make sure that you get together. Some of the committees may not have fully formed yet. Getting back kind of in the movement of the semester sometimes takes a little bit of a minute, but you can email me. My email should be in your inbox in some place. It's mp@engineerinclusion.com, typing it there, and I'll make sure you get connected. We also need some leaders for a few of the committees, and so if you're interested in that, please reach out as well. All right. With that, I want to thank you, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.